everyone. Speak in English, I hope that's okay. Yeah, good. That's my Lithuanian is terrible. I'm Tim van Wijk, and I'm from the Netherlands. And I will tell you something about the business I start, Pilmas Blines, and I'm very happy that I can tell you about our business in front of you, because I like to tell about what we do and how we do it. So yeah, I'm Tim, I'm from the Netherlands. I studied there social work. I worked a couple of years in a big organization where we mentored guys with a disability in all kinds of settings. And I really liked my job because I felt like I had some connection with guys with a disability. During my work, I actually realized that in many of these settings, many of these locations, social workers try to do their best, but what is lacking is some kind of will, or maybe funds, or maybe manpower to actually develop skills in these guys that we try to mentor, that we try to help. For example, there were morning centers, and so people with disability would sleep there, and in the morning they would have to get up, they would have to go to the daycare center or whatever. And in these daycare centers, they are doing activities. So they are drawing, they are doing some drama, they are making music, but they're not really trying to focus on how to develop skills. How can we let them learn more things so that the next day or next week they can do it themselves? And I think that is very important in a job, that you have something, okay, we are here right now, next month we want to be there, and next month we want to be there. And that is something that I missed in that whole organization, in all the locations where I worked. And actually that made me almost quit my job, because I thought if we're not doing anything to develop, if we're not doing anything to make any progression, then it's not for me. Then I got a call from a bakery. And in that bakery, we mentored 20 guys with a disability. They wanted to hire me, first as a trial, and then later I got a contract. And what I noticed there was that everything was focused on development. So we had a bakery, we had 20 guys with a disability. They were making the breads, the cookies, they were selling in the shop, they were delivering by foot, by car, and also by bike, because it was the Netherlands. So they had to go to restaurants, they had to look nice. And before that, they had to make the cookies, so they had to know what was in it, they had to actually do it, they had to work with the ovens, then they had to pack it, and then they had to deliver it. So they had to look nice before doing that. And they had to plan their day, because we would say, okay, at 4 o'clock, the restaurant needs their cookies. So they would have to think, okay, I start at 8, I start with this, then I'll do that, I'll add some water, then I have to bake it, then it has to cool down, then I will pack it, then I have to wait a bit, I have to get dressed, and then I will deliver it. So it was the whole day, they were busy with that cookie, but it made them learn so many skills, because they had to, first they had to get all the ingredients, then they had to weigh everything, then they had to bake it, but they had to talk with colleagues as well. They had to be on time in the morning, of course. And then they had to plan everything. So they had to do basically what we all do every day, but for them that was something new, because normally someone else would wake them up. Someone else would say, okay, now your bus arrives, so now you have to go on that bus, you have to go there. And from that point where they would arrive in the daycare center, there would be activities. So the activity center would say, from 10 to 11 we have coffee break, from 11 to 12 we're going to do this, from 1 to 2 we're going to do this. And that does not make them think like, oh, now I will do this, or now I want to do this, or now I can do this. It's just like someone else is saying exactly what you have to do. And here in the bakery I noticed that they learned so fast how to plan their day, how to make a cookie, how to explain to customers what is in the cookie. And they liked it so much because for the first time in their lives they were doing something that was like normal. Just to have a normal conversation with the customer, to have a normal conversation with the restaurant owner that would come to them because they knew Our guys had a disability, so they would come, they would spend some extra time, they would have a drink together, and then they would come back to the bakery all very happy that they delivered it, that they got the money, that they had a drink with the owner of the restaurant, and all that responsibility that we gave them, because we said, you make it, you deliver it, you get the money here, and we trust you. And that gave them such a boost in confidence that I can do this. And their skills developed so fast that I then started to realize that if we would like to integrate guys with a disability into society, work is the way to do it. Because by work, they learn so many skills because they have to, and also because they can, and we will allow them to make mistakes, and to try it again, and to do it again, and to learn new things that they would otherwise never ever learn, because they would be either at home, or they would be in these daycare centers which are not trying to develop these things. So, during my work there, I met my girlfriend, now my wife. She's Lithuanian. That's why I think most foreigners are here. So am I. She dragged me here. About 2.5 years ago we came here, and there was two things I noticed. One, that Vilnius is an absolutely beautiful city, and the other one, that there was actually no people with a disability in the streets. Coming from the Netherlands, where I was working with these guys, I was so surprised that I didn't see them working, I didn't see them in the cinema, I didn't see them in shopping malls, I didn't see them walking on the streets, I didn't even see guys with a wheelchair. There was only one that I saw in like the first month. And I was so surprised, like, where are these guys? Where are they? Because they have to live somewhere. So I started to look and to contact some organizations, some companies, and I started to visit some daycare centers, because I realized that you have these daycare centers as well, where guys with a disability will spend their day. And they were actually quite modern. They were really like I was used to in the Netherlands. But the same issue here was that these guys, the organizations, they do not have the funds to actually try and develop skills, because they do their best. But if you have one mentor on 20 guys with a disability, how are you going to teach them skills? It's just, there's no way to do it. And it was the same in the Netherlands, and it was the same here. And one negative part about daycare centers is that most of the time there's a taxi. They go to their houses and they bring them to the daycare center. And after they're done, the taxi comes there and they bring them home. So instead of integrating guys with a disability into society, you actually take them out of them. Because now, because of these taxis, which is good because they can all go there, but they're not in the buses, so no one will see them. They will, during the day, they're inside of these centers, so no one will see them. So basically, all day, no one can see them, and that is not a way to integrate anyone if you cannot see someone. So really what I saw, that there is no one with a disability, they are actually only in these small places, and there's like 4 of them in Vilnius and around, and that's it. So I thought, if I would like to change that, and I know a little bit how, because I have worked in a business like this, then maybe I should do it. That is when I started to speak with a lot of organizations, like, is a business where people with a disability are working, get salaries, and where it's open for everyone, would that be something that Vilnius or Lithuania is waiting for? Maybe it's just me that I thought like, oh, it would be nice, but if no one wants it, then there's no point in doing it. So I started to speak with several organizations. 3 of them are here. These are my partners now. And actually all organizations said, yes, that would be great. We will support you. We will help you where we can. Or they said, we actually wanted to do it ourselves, but we didn't know how to do it. So if you do it, we will absolutely support you with everything we can. So I thought, okay, that's good. If they want it, then I can think about it and I can develop the idea more. But then I started to speak to people in the streets. Because I thought, if organizations want it, that's nice, but if it's a business, I also need people to come there and to pay for things, because otherwise I have no business. And when I spoke to people on the street, about 80% said, nah, don't do it. Don't do it. No one will come, no one will like it, people with a disability are not hygienic, so if it's going to be food, people think that it will be like not good enough, or there will be hairs, or spit in it, or whatever. So actually I was a bit bummed. I thought like, 80%, it's quite a big amount, especially if it's in Vilnius, most open city in this country. And then I spoke to a guy, and I see him still in front of me, he was like 30, and he said, don't do it because we as society think that guys with a disability are scary. And that actually hit me a bit. I thought like, wow, if we as society think that these guys are scary, then it's just a lack of education. That we just don't know who are people with a disability, and what kind of varieties are there, and how do they look, or how do they speak. And and so these are now our guys. These guys are not so scary, right? So this is about kind of what I had in mind, and I thought like, if that's the thing, then it pushed me, it motivated me more to start it, because I thought if this is what we think, it's just really wrong, and then I want to prove you wrong. So maybe I have to thank that guy a bit, that he actually pushed me to do it. So then we had to find a place where we would go and to find workers. And that was actually quite difficult. The place to find was difficult because rent here is sky high, and so that was really, really difficult. We got not really support from banks, from government, from anything in the beginning. From banks I understand, I am a foreigner, which is kind of a red flag everywhere. I understand that. It's a restaurant, which is kind of a red flag, and it's a social company, which is also a red flag. So yeah, I understood they didn't want to let me borrow any money. So that was one side, financial part. We figured that out later. And the other thing was, so with our finding our workers. And we got help from these organizations. SOPA is a job coach organization that tries to help to find jobs for guys with a disability. The Down syndrome organization, really, really helpful for us. They're really pushing forward about integration, that everyone should accept each other. And one daycare center, Sviasa, they wanted to work with us as well. So we have a couple of their visitors working in our place. And so now these are our workers. These are the guys that have a contract now. This was a picture a bit before. What we did when we were looking for workers, because I had no idea who would want to work in our place. I also had no idea about the skills that these guys could have or would have. So I asked SOPA, the job coach organization, and the Down syndrome organization, I want 6 guys or girls. And I don't care what they can do, I don't care what they cannot do, I don't care what they have, as long as they want to work. Then we will have them, and we will see what will happen. So that's how we started. And that's when we had this company together. And that was really, really interesting. Because these guys, they never worked, they never had a boss. From school, they were sitting at home. They had nothing to do. And all the things that they learned was in school. First thing I noticed that all of the guys are under 30. Later we figured out that it's a bit of cultural difference in age. Everyone above 30, 31, they have been grown up with the idea that if you have a kid with a disability, you keep him inside. You cannot show him anywhere. So they actually learned really, really few skills. just how to speak to people, they don't know, because they have always been inside of their house. They have never had a chance to speak to people on the street, or in the bus, or anywhere else. So all the workers we had, this guy I think is 29, the rest is like 22, 23, very young. And they really wanted to work, which was the only thing I asked. Then the first time we met, we were sitting all together, and I asked them, what would you like to do here in this restaurant? And all of them said, I want to clean. And I was like, yes, everyone wants to clean. So we'll have the cleanest restaurant ever. And so actually I thought that would be the most difficult part. Later, we found out that cleaning itself was not something that they wanted to do. It was just something that they knew how to do. Someone wanted to teach them how to clean a plate, how to clean a table. And they didn't know that they could do anything else. So the first week, we had a practice week. We invited friends, we invited partners to eat in our place for us to see how it would be going, what we had to change before we would ask money from people for it. And then it turned out that they didn't want to clean. They did not, because they realized that they could bring a plate to a table, they could take the orders, they could stand behind the cash register, they could help in the morning in the kitchen. They basically did everything. They could do everything. They just didn't know it before. And it actually showed me that they can do so many things. They can do so many things. We just do not give them a chance to try it. And we have this guy. He is walking a bit difficult, and he has one hand that he can use very well, the other one a bit more difficult. And until 1 month ago, he did not drop one plate. And he was so afraid of carrying anything, if it was a glass or cutlery or anything. And until 1 month ago, he did not drop anything. And in a restaurant, I don't know who of you have worked ever in a restaurant, but I see some, yes. It's almost impossible if you work somewhere half a year to not break anything, because you have so many plates, so many cups. So he was also so proud of this, and we, of course, as well, because I broke more things than he did. But it shows how careful they can be and how well they want to work, and how motivated they are to do things. And even though some things are too heavy for him, he's still trying it. He's still trying to do it. Now he's mostly standing behind the cash register, because there he's really very good. He knows how to give money back. He can count very fast. Actually, I have to go a bit back. We decided to make pancakes, which I have to tell, because I hope you all come to eat pancakes. That's also why I put the picture in the middle. And we decided to make pancakes for a couple of reasons. One of them was, if we would make steaks, it would be a bit difficult, I thought, for the guys to remember orders, because if you have like a steak, you want it to be rare, you want it well done, it will be all extra things. Now I think maybe that was just my idea, and they could have done it as well. So yeah, this is the place, a little bit how it looks. What I really like about our customers, because our customers are really important, we have a bit communication like this. Meaning, maybe I have to stand here for more people to see, meaning that our customers, most of them, they know where they're going to. And they, most of the time, understand that maybe they have to speak a bit more clear to our workers, or they have to interact a bit more, and actually like to interact a bit more. This picture I really like, because this guy is really trying also to help our workers to do it well. There's really like communication. And what I see in most other restaurants, when there's a waiter, it's like, here's your pizza. And that's it. And here our workers are really enthusiastic in bringing the plate, are really enthusiastic in asking your order, or how the taste is, or how it is. They're doing everything with a smile. And it creates that the customer is also really interacting with the worker, because the customer says, oh, this guy has fun, so yeah, sure, let's speak, let's talk. And sometimes actually you speak about football or something, or all of the sudden, or basketball, about the game last night. Just because there is some kind of interaction that in other restaurants you do not have, but because these guys are so enthusiastic about what they do, they're so open and they smile all the time. And for customers, that's really nice to finally, I think, have a place where waiters are really open and smiling and actually like what they're doing. So yeah, as I said, we have now 4 guys with a contract in our place. The 5th one will be this month actually. And what was very, very funny for me that one guy we gave a contract, and the next day he came to me and we were full, everywhere were people. I was standing behind the bar, he came to me and said, Tim, I have a contract. Yes, yes, you have a contract. I worked yesterday. Yes, you worked yesterday. So where's my money? And everyone was like, uh-huh. What is happening there? And at first it was like, oh shit, what do I have to say? But it was so funny, because then I realized that it is the first time he's working, first time he's getting salary. He just has no idea how it works. He has no idea that in the end of the month it will be on your bank account and that's it. But he just had no idea, so he just asked how it would work. And I was also very happy he would ask, because otherwise he would have it in his head, I have contract but I don't get paid. And so it's super important that they just ask and just try and that kind of stuff. And actually that guy, when he got his first salary, first thing he did was buying his mother a present. Oh. It was really, really nice to hear that was the first thing that he did. So, yeah, now what we have achieved. I put these pictures, we got 2 awards for being a social business that is really open. The idea of the restaurant was that in our place, because there are other companies that hire guys with a disability. Most of them are kind of closed, so these guys work in a fabric or someone on the 3rd floor, they're making small things. What we really tried to achieve was to have it as open as possible. Everyone could come in if they want, and to have that interaction between guys with a disability and guys on the street with society, so that they would see like, oh, these guys can work, these guys can actually do something. And for that, we're actually the first company in Lithuania, in the Baltics, I think, that is working like this. And yeah, that's why we got 2 awards, which was very nice. Especially actually the second one, because we could call all the workers on stage, and there was ministers sitting, and all very important people, and they would all stand up and clap for our guys. And for the guys, it was the first time they would be on stage. So that was nice, and there was this red carpet, and everyone had hairs nice, and dresses, and yeah, the ministers getting up for you and clapping, that's right, that's amazing. And yeah, 6 months ago they were unemployed, sitting at home, had nothing to do, and didn't know what they could do. So that was very nice, but for us, most important thing that we achieved were two things. One of our guys, he never worked. When he came to us, we gave him a contract, and because of that, not only he got salary, but also his mother, who had been home to take care of him all the time, she could go to work as well. So instead of the whole family being dependent on just dad, who was bringing in the money, now they have 3 salaries. So even our salary is not that high, I have to be very honest. But because of this, mom could go to work and have 3 salaries. So for the family, that is an enormous impact in what they can do, what they can buy. So that's one thing we're quite proud of. The other thing is, I actually have 3 examples. I want to add one. There's one guy, and he was the guy that was holding the pancake. This one. In the middle. He was always working in our kitchen. He was cutting and everything. But we noticed that when it got very, very busy, that he got a bit stressed. Because in lunch and in kitchen, if it's busy, the chef is like, I want this and this and this, and you basically already have to have it in your hands to be fast enough. So that was a bit difficult for him. So we said, okay, you will prepare everything, and after that you can come as waiter, because you look good, you're strong, you can speak very, very well, very nice. So please then come, to work in front as a waiter. And he said, no, I don't want to. No. And we asked his mother, because most of the time mothers or dads can say, oh, just try it and do it. And his mother said, no, he cannot. He doesn't want to speak to people, he will be very afraid. And we said, well, yeah, that can be, but we think he can do it and we want to try it. We want to try it with him because we think he can be very, very good at it. So we actually pushed that a bit through, against mother's will, against his will also. If that's really good, I don't know, to be honest. But we really believed that he could do it. So the first day he was waiting, it was very difficult. He didn't want to go to people, and that was difficult. The second day it was already more easy. He just had a bit of troubles remembering the menu. Then he took the menu home, he learned it at home. And the third day, he could do everything. He was going to people, say, hi, how are you doing? You can put your coat there, you can sit wherever you want. He brought the menu, and then he would bring the menu to the cash register, and he would deliver all the plates, all the drinks, everything. Everything was fine. Customers were very, very happy because he did very nice. And so that was 3 days. And it made me realize that these guys have such a lack of confidence because he's doing so well, but just because he did not have the chance to try it. And even his mother said, probably, don't do it, it will be too difficult. So even the parents have something in their minds that it might be just too difficult for them. So if here or anyone's listening that has a kid with a disability, please let them try, let them do, let them make mistakes. It's the only way they learn, it's the way we all learn, right? You went out with friends, you made a mistake, you learn and you do it again. In a different way. In a different way. And yeah, so if someone is listening that has a guy with disability somewhere, then please remember that. And the last one we're most proud of is a girl. She's working with us. Since she was 5, she could not walk, she could not speak, she could not hear. After a lot of physiotherapy and a hearing aid, she now is able to speak and to hear, and she can walk. But because she had difficulty speaking and listening, she felt very, very shy. She never wanted to make groups, never had so many friends. Later I heard that the job coach agency that was helping us, they actually said that we don't really know where to put her, where she can work, so just try it and we will see what happens. And after 2 days, in practice, so we were not even open, but the practice thing, in 2 days, her mom came to our place to try pancake, because we invited all parents. And after that, she came to us and she into this girl that was very enthusiastic about what she did and how she did it and how she could do it better, how she could improve. And now she's actually kind of a manager. Sometimes when I'm not there, I put her behind the bar because I know that she will say, you clean that and you do that and you bring this to that table. And that was also after 2 weeks. She was the person that I would trust the most to do this kind of stuff. And yeah, that for us is so amazing. And we also said that if, all business goes to hell or whatever, we achieved this, that this girl now feels so confident that she can work, that she can do, and she can be like a normal person, even though she has a slight difficulty with speaking to customers. But then again, we have, where is it? This one, where customers also are interacting with our guys because they know that maybe something is more difficult. And that together, so our workers together with the customers, with society that is a little bit more social, that makes such a big impact in our guys and I think also in society. And if any of you here now thinks that, sure, it's all nice and all good, but how can my company ever hire someone with a disability because it will be too difficult or too complicated or whatever. In all our restaurant, what we have changed so that these guys can do everything because they do, I'm here, they are working. And I trust them that everything is going well. So the thing that we changed only one thing, and that is the way of ordering. So they do not have to remember everything that was ordered, but you as customer write it down. That is the only thing that we changed. So for the rest, we're a normal restaurant. They have to do all the same stuff as in any other restaurant, only the way of ordering is different. So if you guys think, how on earth can we hire someone with a disability? We have to change so many things. That's not true. You just have to think, what does someone need to work well? And it can be a very, very, very small change, like changing the menu, changing the way of ordering. That's all we changed. So that is actually what I wanted to say. I think I made my 20 minutes. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We have